This is nighttime. We are getting ready to leave on the missions trip. Is everybody excited? Woo! As excited as you can be at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? Hey, Chandra. Okay. Well, we're just waiting for everyone else to show up, and hopefully we'll have a good time here.
There is a section, I forgot what part of the campus, or it's north of the campus, where there is like a tree community. Really? A tree community where people living up in the trees. Like the Ewok village. Yeah. I know that there was an issue, I don't know if
And then I think this is really a survey. I think it's a conversation.
So what is the purpose?
Yeah. I'm ready to read.
Possibly. No, but we're talking with him, and just he didn't believe in absolute truth or morals, and so we posed the question to him. Okay, since there's no absolute truth, and there are no moral absolutes, what happens when somebody rapes and murders someone? Is that wrong? He goes, well, his definition of truth was whatever makes you happy. And he said, well, if that's what makes him happy, then that's morally acceptable for him. But in our culture, it's morally unacceptable. So he'll most likely, be killed because of that, because he's gonna piss somebody off. And so so his thing was, yeah, it's morally acceptable for them. But just because it's morally acceptable for them doesn't mean it's morally acceptable for everybody else. And so we didn't know how to kind of go about that and kind of bring that back around to, well, obviously you do believe in some kind of moral absolute.
Yeah. I can deal with the evidence I have in hand. That's all I can deal with. Of course, there may be something that comes out in the future we have to deal with. You might want to turn the question back on them and say, well, if we were able to demonstrate that all the evidence, the preponderance of evidence points to God's existence, would you believe? You can also ask them to kind of figure out where if they're open-minded, and then what would count as evidence to them. But I don't think we have to be afraid to say, look, if it was proven false, that we would walk away. Now, of course, we don't think it's false, and that's one of the reasons why we're on this trip, is to help us grow in our knowledge of the evidence and the reasons why it is true, and the evidence is on our side, and we actually have nothing to be afraid of. Look, if it's true, then we can have confidence that all the objections that people are bringing against it will be answered, and we're going to have the evidence, we're going to have the goods. Yeah, but yeah, so I think you'd be open with that. And it's not. When you say that, it's not like God's going to strike you down or something. That's okay. But then it's fair to then turn the question over to them and say, well, what would it take to get you believed? What kind of evidence do you need if we could demonstrate beyond a reasonable doubt that Christianity is true, or that God exists? What would you believe? And actually, Amy was talking about, share at the end of this conversation what happened.
Well, she was really nice. She was very open to talking with us. And at the end of the conversation, she said basically that we couldn't really know what religion was true, and you didn't really need religion unless you needed to be a good person, that sort of thing. But at the end I said, so if there were a way to know what was true about God and all of that, then would you want to know? And she said no, because it would upset the balance in my life. I just wouldn't want to know.
Yeah. What a revealing answer.
And I don't need it anyway, because I'm a good person.
It's a revealing answer. It gives you some insight into, and we're going to talk about this kind of on the last day, we're going to kind of wrap up, but we're going to look at the idea that it's not simply people's intellect that gets in the way of God. And so here's someone who's going to be honest with you. No, that belief would be pretty inconvenient. Because there's a sense where we know that if God exists, if He's our creator, then there's a sense of accountability, right? And so belief in God, even if it can be shown to be true, is inconvenient. And so that's something to be aware of when you're talking to people. Is that oftentimes the intellectual obstacles are kind of a smokescreen. Now I think we need to deal with them. We don't want